misfits. They ain't switching out ride, it's raining outside, I hope I don't hit you. I'm a time bomb, tick, tick, Rich Mill, that's some Rick.
What's poppin', gang? You know, my back at y'all with another full-on tutorial. Today we're gonna be taking his hair down and giving him a fade all around. Right here I got that 2 guard on there, just knocking it down because he told me he had an imperfection in the middle of his head, but he didn't care if it showed. But of course, you know, I'm gonna fix it up to where it don't show. Make sure y'all like, comment, share, subscribe, because you know we building a family. So I'm starting with a higher guard because you never know what somebody got under their hair. Of course, he told me, but you always want to start with a higher guard when you're taking the hair down to wavelength or any length. So once we got the hair all nice and even on one side, I worked my way to the other side to do the same thing. I initially took it down with a 2, but I brought it down to that 1.5 because that's the desired length that he wanted. He wanted it low to where he could brush it and possibly get waves. So I got that 1.5 on there now, deep open, just knocking everything off the top. Make sure y'all combing and or brushing as y'all going because you just never know how somebody's hair going, you know, before you even get to touching the head. So always kind of like guide your clipper with that comb or that brush that you're using to kind of pick the hair up off the scalp. So then we're going in, of course, with our Babyliss liners and we're making our first guideline. I'm doing a drop fade, so of course it's gonna drop below his occipital bone. So I got my trimmers and I'm just knocking all that extra hair down, and we're just making everything nice and clean up under that guideline. You always want to make sure it's nice and clean because I feel like how you start a fade is how you gonna finish a fade. If you keep it nice and dirty, or you know you got extra hairs up under there and you're not really cleaning up, you're not really detailing, that's exactly how your full haircut, your full fade gonna look. Then we're gonna go in all the way open. So we go all the way open, but we go up about 1 inch. I kind of want this fade to stretch a lot into like the top of the hair, so that's why we're going up about 1 inch. Some people might think that that's like a big guideline. To me, it kind of is. Normally, I go a 1/2 inch if I'm trying to keep the fade a certain length, but I really want this fade to stretch all the way up into the top. So I'm going up about 1 inch and I'm just cleaning up everything because I don't want nothing to look straggly. I don't want nothing to look just thrown together. But I came back with my wall because I wanted to make that cleaner, because though my walls, they're actually 0 gap, my Babyliss are not. So I came in with my walls and I wanted to make that line up cleaner, and then I'm taking that line right on out with my walls as well. So then we slap that 1 on there, of course, and we go all the way open to make our second initial guideline, right? And for those of y'all that didn't understand, like I said, my walls are 0 gap, so that means that they are going to catch the hairs closer. So that's why I switched my clipper and I went over, and I also took that bottom line out with it all the way closed. Right now we're going up about 1 inch with that 1 on there. Once again, like I said, I want my fade to stretch. That's why I'm doing big guidelines. Just because his hair texture, I feel like a stretch drop fade will look way better than like just a little fade, if that makes sense. I put on my 1.5 and I'm going up, but I'm not really trying to make a guideline for real because that's the length that we took it down with. So as you can see, it's kind of like blending into that. So looking at the blend, I went ahead and I closed it and I'm just knocking it down. Any straggling hairs that wasn't knocked down, I'm going ahead and I'm knocking it down right now. So as you can see, that 1.5 blends perfectly within the top because they both the same guard, the same length. Then I just come in with my 8 guard or my 1/2 guard. Some people don't like to call it half because it makes them confused, but I like to call it the 1/2 guard. I got it all the way closed and we're just knocking out that line that we made in between that open and that 1. So we're knocking that out, blending that in so that the blend could be smooth. And of course, every time you fade up, you want to take your comb or brush and lay that hair right back down, because all the fade really is just layered hair that's laying in this place. That's all it is. So every time you fade up, you want to comb or brush it right back down so it can lay in this place. And I got the 0 on here, and I'm actually doing detail work. Any light spots or any spots that I feel like the 0 should, come up a little bit or whatever the case is, I go ahead and I knock it out. That's why I'm spending so much time detailing with the 0 guard. And then of course I come in with my 1 guard and we just detail. Like, see that? That's a dark spot. That's a dark spot that I see. So I see that dark spot, I got it all the way open, and I just attack that dark spot. Now, you can use your corners. If it's a bigger dark spot, I use the blade if it's like a bigger dark spot. But that was something simple that I seen, like that dark spot. So I knocked that out, and then I got right back into detailing the actual fade with the whole blade. And then of course what you do to one side, you do to the other. So we just coming in with our half guard, taking all the hairs down once again. We'll knock all that down, and then we're gonna repeat the exact same steps we did on the other side, on this side. So technically I really don't have to give y'all a voiceover. Y'all can kind of, put 2 and 2 together. And especially if I got any beginners or anybody that's, tuning in so they can learn, I definitely want y'all to kind of like figure out what's going on, as opposed to me doing a voiceover walking y'all through it. So y'all figure it out. And if y'all got any questions, comments, concerns, drop it in the comments below. I'm real active and I do respond. Front, I put on my 1 guard and I knock down some of the front hairs. Now I do this so that the hairs are actually laying down in its place right before I go to spray my holding spray on it. So right here I'm spraying my holding spray to freeze the hair right in place so it don't move when I get ready to line it on up. When it comes to the lineup, I feel like angle is really key. So you always want to line your client up. First you want to have a consultation. Always want to ask the client, do you want to keep it natural or do you want it to be straight? Every client's head is not going to be straight. Every client's lineup is not going to be a straight line. So you always want to have that consultation. And based off of the answer that they give you, that's how you go and you line them up. So my client said that he wanted a straight line. So his canvas wasn't too bad to give him a straight line. Actually, it was a good canvas. But you always want to have your client at least, I don't want to say looking at you because that's weird, but have their head in place to where it's like, if a person is looking directly at them, how would their hairline look? You never want to line them up like on an angle to where you are lining them up sideways, or to where they head down looking at their phone, or because whichever way you have your client is going to reflect in the hairline. Because I had a client that was looking down at his phone once before, and like I'm lining him up and I'm constantly like moving his head to where it's like, hey bro, keep your head still so I can line. But he constantly looked down at his phone, and by the time he looked up, by the time we used the mirror to look up and see how the hairline coming out, it was crooked. So you always want to make sure that your client is in the right direction for you to line him up, because if not, it will reflect. So right now we're just adding enhancements. I came up with the theory that the wet enhancements first and then the dry enhancements second, because the dry enhancements actually have a better outlook than the wet enhancements. Like I said before in the previous video, the wet enhancements are a good feeling, but once it dries up, it just looks like you painted on your client. So I use the wet enhancement first to fill in, and then I go behind it with my dry enhancements to give it that natural look, that natural pop. Then I go in and I put some holding spray on it because, of course, that dry enhancement, it needs some holding spray so that it can stick. So after everything is applied, of course, I come in with my trimmer and I'm gonna go right back over that lining because we don't want that pencil to just sit there. I don't really like how that look when the pencil just sit there. We actually want to blend it within the skin and within the lineup. So I'm just going over it, relining it up, and making sure that I blend that pencil out so that it can give it that pop. Right here, you can kind of see how the pencil just kind of sits on top of the skin. I never did like that look. I will only do that look per client's request, but other than that, I'm always gonna blend that pencil on in and on out. But y'all can see how it looks when it's blended in with the trimmer. But of course, I do not just only blend it in with the trimmer. Those of y'all who know me know I love the razor. So I love the way the pencil and the enhancement look when you put that razor on it, and here goes the razor action right here. For those of y'all who want to know how to use a razor, I said in one of my previous videos, probably about 2 years ago, if y'all want to learn how to use the razor, my suggestion is to get like a balloon, water balloon, put some shaving cream on it, and try to, just try to shave it down like that. Try to get all the shaving cream off of the balloon without popping it. If you pop the balloon, of course, that means you have cut your client. You have to be very, very careful and very, very sanitary when it comes to razor work. But I love it. So, YouTube, this is basically the cut. He actually loved it. If y'all love it, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Turn your post notifications on so you can know when I post a video. Right now, we gave this man a grown man haircut. We just put him back in the game. Matter of fact, he just created the game. So those of y'all who want to play, those of y'all who want to taste, make sure that y'all lock in with me. This dude is looking so good. I had my mom on the phone. She also said he look good. So lock in, man. Y'all join the gang. It's 105. Like, it's the 105 takeover for real. So this basically the cut, but I went in and I did a little extra for him. I laid his hair down because, of course, his hair was kind of standing up. So I laid it down for him. I put that brush on there. I gave him a slight brush session. I put that brush on there. I put some mousse on there, and I went ahead and I laid his crown down. We even established his crown area right there. I went ahead and I laid everything down. I went back over it with the clipper all the way closed just to get those straightaway hairs after I laid it down. But if y'all trying to lock in, if y'all trying to learn how to cut hair, subscribe to my channel, engage. I engage back. I'm telling y'all, I respond back. Any question, any concern, I respond. I'm very responsive. And we just building a family full of people who want to be barbers, full of people who want to learn. And even I'm learning. I'm not a veteran in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still here to learn. I'm still here to soak up all the knowledge I can. But this is the cut, y'all. Like, this is the cut. Like, if y'all like it, please comment fire emojis, ice emojis, whatever emojis. It don't matter. Just join the gang, join the family, join the wave. And with that being said, 105 gang, we out.